What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTQ Wrestling Podcast. Going to be doing our all-in 2024 predictions. Tears, how we feeling about the AEW pay-per-view?
It's there's a lot of matches on the card. I'll tell you that much. I don't think a lot of these are really needed. I'm sorry. A lot of these matches can just be cut to make more time for other matches. I know people hate that, but I'm just looking at the card and it's kind of overbearing.
Yeah, I agree. There's just like a lot of titles and a lot of matches. Like I've been seeing mixed opinions on WWE having a minimum of matches, and sometimes that's a good or bad thing. But I'm a fan of I feel like sometimes you put too many matches, it takes away from other matches. But we'll see if that happens here. So let's get
Right?
into
Because
it.
remember,
I'll go ahead.
I was gonna say, like for example, like the Nakamura and AJ Styles WrestleMania match. Like that
Yeah, because
match
I
was
got yeah, that got. I remember that got cut, and it was kind of a big letdown. So we'll get us started here. AEW All In. I have a few matches I'm looking forward to. A few that's kind of just on the show that I really care less about. We'll start with the pre-show match: Willow and Ishii versus Statlander and Hathaway. So, Tears, who you predict in this match?
uh, unfortunately, this is one of those matches like I say like this could have just been thrown away. But I guess Team Ishii, like that's the best I can do because how you gonna convince me to not cheer for Ishii?
Yeah, I agree. I'll go with Ishii too. Well, Nightingale seems like she's a woman they're really trying to push a little bit more. Chris Statlander's kind of been. I know she had an injury, but she just doesn't really seem like she had a lot of momentum, really. So I don't really see her winning this. So yeah, I'll go Ishii and Hathaway. This is a match nobody cares about. I can guarantee half the audience won't even see this on the pre-show. So figure we add it in here though. So let's start off the actual show. Mariah May versus Tony Storm. This has been a match a lot of fans have been invested in. The story's been interesting. They've had kind of this, lesbian storyline going with these two. It's been interesting. So, Tears, who do you have winning the AEW Women's title, or do you have Tony Storm retaining or Mariah May winning this match?
I feel like Tony Storm is just still doing too well with her character, her gimmick, her run. And considering how things are with AEW right now, I feel like it's just too safe to keep it on Tony, in my humblest opinion. Maybe they could do another match. Maybe something's gonna happen. I know Tony Storm likes doing nefarious things. I feel like that's gonna happen. This isn't gonna be a clean win. I'm predicting that, and it could lead to another match. I'm not really gonna confidently say that's gonna happen, but at the end of the day, I feel like Tony's winning just because it's Tony.
Yeah, I don't really see Mariah May winning yet. It feels like a little early. She just turned heel. I feel like the fans are just now getting used to her being a heel. So I'll go Tony Storm wins. There is another woman involved. I forgot her name. Maybe she shows up and gets involved in this. I do think this is probably going to be at least three matches involved in this rivalry. I don't know how far they're going to take this feud, but we'll have to see. So both of us going Tony Storm. Not really surprised there. Any final thoughts on this match?
Not really. Like it feels kind of just too safe of a match to book.
Yeah, it just seems like they're kind of just going with their story and hoping for the best, and we'll see. But let's get in this other women's match. It's had a lot of controversy around it. I mean, the promos have been up and down. Mercedes Monet has been talking a lot in promos. She's been talking a lot in real life interviews. Feels like she has a ton of heat currently. I've always been a fan of Mercedes and WWE. I thought her boss character was awesome. I just feel like Vince never really wanted her to be a heel consistently. But man, her AEW run's been, I mean, it's been up and down. It hasn't been a lot, I think, what a lot of people expected it to be. And when they first put this match together, I said, man, this match is going to be kick ass. I mean, you got two of the top women in AEW going at it, but I don't know if I had that same hype going into this. So, Tears, who do you got winning the TBS championship? Do you have Mercedes Moné retaining, or do you have the Dr. DMD winning the championship?
Uh, hmm. I would normally like to say Britt Baker. Like if this was booked, if this still had all the drama around it, if this still had all the situations around it and all that, I would have said Britt Baker. However, I unfortunately have to say I don't see Tony Khan giving the title to Britt because of all this stuff going on. I feel like Tony is just too much of the, you know, I can't trust you type character, so we got to do this, that, and otherwise. So I'm gonna have to say Mercedes is keeping it. And plus, keep in mind she's the highest, or like she has the most expensive contract in AEW, I believe. So I highly doubt Tony's just gonna, like, hey, I spent all this money on you. You're gonna lose the title to somebody who I am having kind of some issues with right now.
Agreed. I see Mercedes retaining as well. I feel like it'd be way too early to have her drop the title. Maybe her new bodyguard gets involved. I know her new bodyguard's been talked about, so maybe she's involved. I think her name's Camille or something like that. But yeah, I'll go Mercedes. Britt, I don't know if she's just causing a lot of bad stuff to happen backstage or if it's just disagreements. I've heard she's part of the reason Cody left. I don't know how true that is. So she has a lot of heat with a lot of people, and some people you don't want to have heat with. So yeah, I agree with Tears. I don't think Tony Khan's going to switch the championship. I just don't see that right now. I do wonder who will be the woman to beat Mercedes because they don't really have a strong women's roster outside of Mariah May, Tony Storm, Britt, Monet, in my opinion. I mean,
Russo?
maybe. I think she had a kid, so maybe yeah, maybe she'll come back and be like more momentum. We'll see. But yeah, we both going the CEO. I still think she ripped off Imperium's old theme song. That's still just every time I hear it, I'm just thinking Imperium, but it is what it is. So we'll move on. This next match, the AEW. There's a lot of wording there. I know the AEW trios titles ladder match, by the way, between Bang Bang Gang, House of Black, a mystery team, and the Patriarchy. So for fans who don't know who these teams are, the Bang Bang Gang is the Guns, and I'm pretty sure it's originally Jay White, but Jay White is not. I don't think he's going to be back in time, so it's going to be Juice Robinson. The House of Black, obviously Murphy, Malachi Black, and Brody King. The mystery team we'll see, and then the Patriarchy is Christian Cage's group. So that's who we have in this match. So, Tears, out of these four teams, even though we don't know who the mystery team is, who do you see winning this match for the AEW Trios tag titles?
On one hand, like I want to say I want the House of Black to win. On another hand, I feel like the titles are gonna stay like where they're at. However, just for the like balls to the walls idea, I say it's going to go to the mystery team. Telling me like this mystery team is going to be something that fans are going to be like very happy has happened. Then later down the line, we're like, wait, how much did Tony spend again on these guys? And then we see that they win the titles, and we see like, oh, that's why. So I'm going to have to say mystery team. I would love it to be the House of Black and finally get more stuff, but however, I just unfortunately don't see that right now.
Nah, I don't either. The House of Black's just been kind of in the middle. If you guys hear somebody yelling, there's like some kid yelling outside. I live like by a main road, so if you guys hear that, I apologize. But yeah, House of Black don't have a lot of momentum, and for me, I'm gonna go Patriarchy. Nick Wayne, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage. It feels like they really like Christian Cage. He's over as hell with this your dad stuff, your father stuff. So I'm gonna go with
Somebody,
them. I didn't explain this in the beginning. By the way, I apologize if you guys don't know. The Bang Bang Gang is the champions. I'm pretty sure they're the champions. I don't keep up with these trios. There's so many titles in AEW. I have a hard time keeping track of who even holds what. So I was just, for this match,
trios are just hard to book. Let's be honest.
yeah, it is. So the next match, this is a very interesting one. We have Hook. Obviously, most of you know he's Taz's son, facing Chris Jericho for the FTW Championship. So, Tears, who do you see winning this match? Do you see Hook winning the title back? I'm pretty sure he was champ before, winning it back, or do you see Jericho retaining?
I believe the champion before Jericho was either Hooks or it was either Ricky Starks. It was one of the two. I'm not 100% sure. I think it was Hook. I'm starting to lean towards Hook. I see. If this feud is done, then the title's going back to Hook. If Jericho went or retains it, then it's going back, or this feud's not ending yet. Which I don't know. This feud is one of those to where like it's really hard for me to care. Really, once again, the FTW belt, I feel like it's meant to be a gimmick belt. It should have only been a gimmick belt. The fact that we're actually having a match on a pay per view, like for it, kind of makes me think, is it necessary? I don't think so. But I'm gonna say Hook just honestly because I want the story to be done. This is a title I don't want an actual important story for.
So, me and Tears have had a lot of the same predictions. I also am going with Hook. I just don't really see Jericho having a need to win this title. Hook's still young, and he could kind of, I know he's champion before, but like he could use it again. There have been rumors Hook's contract could be up. I haven't heard nothing about that in a while, so I don't know if it's still up or if it's, being renewed. I don't know. I've heard he's looking towards free agency. Not sure if that's at the end of the year or next year or when that is. I know it's close, so maybe that will be a factor if Jericho retains. I have heard that Hook would like to explore maybe going to WWE. I don't know if that's still the case, but that would be interesting. So I'm going to go Hook. But if Jericho retains, I think it's because Hook might be leaving AEW. So we'll have to see on that one. So next match, we got two left, or actually three left, excuse me. We have the AEW tag titles. So I'm gonna be honest, I skipped over that because I honestly don't care about the AEW tag titles. I feel like it's always the Bucks or FTR who hold them. But it's the Young Bucks against FTR versus the Acclaimed in a triple threat tag team match, the AEW tag titles. So, Tears, do you have the Bucks retaining, or do you think FTR or the Acclaim win the gold here?
I think the Bucks are just going to retain because they have no idea what they want to do with the tag division. It's a mess. I see why people say it's a mess, and unfortunately, they are just keep looked at
My
anymore
bad. You
like
said what,
that, and
Tears? I think your
FTR
mic.
not taking serious. Huh?
Oh, sorry. I think your mic cut out a little bit. I was making sure you were still there. Keep going.
Oh yeah. I'm saying like I think the Bucks are gonna win. Oh no, I don't think the Bucks are gonna win. I know they're gonna win because there's nothing else for anybody else right now. The Bucks. I don't know, man. Like this whole thing, this whole storyline, something about it just doesn't. I think the tag division just screwed up. It doesn't know what it wants to be anymore. And we used to have match of the years in their tag division. Now it's just like we got him. Okay.
Yeah, the AEW tag team division at first, you had a lot of good teams, and Lucha Bros sound like they're out the door, even though there's been, talk that they're trying to extend Felix's contract. I always call him Felix. Phoenix is contract because of the injuries, so who knows if they're actually going to be out the door soon. I know Penta's deal is already up. He's apparently at the WWE Performance Center, but Phoenix's deal it might be extended. The Lucha Bros are one of their top teams. Motor City Machine Guns, they kind of tried to bring him in here. It sounds like they're going to WWE as well. Yeah, I mean, they don't really. I mean, these are probably besides the Guns, and they're in a trio now. Like, there's really not any more teams that you go. Yeah, like, yeah, I could see them winning the tag titles. I'm a big Private Party fan. I like Private Party. It's just AEW doesn't really feature them enough for anybody to care. I do think that's a team Tony Khan should put a little bit more stock into. I think they're a good young team. It's just, I don't know. He just stopped booking them. But for this match, I'm gonna go Acclaimed. I'm just gonna take a wild card. Maybe they have the Acclaim win.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be shocking to see the Bucks lose, but I want to go with the wild card. Maybe the Acclaim shock the world. Bucks are on part-time deals, so maybe that plays a role into this. Maybe they're going to work less dates. I don't know how part-time their deal is, so maybe they lose. FTR. I've heard something about retirement. I don't know if that's in the works. Who knows? But yeah, I'll go Acclaimed. Why not? Might be kind of a wild card, but this is a match I honestly don't care about. It's just kind of like here. So, here's any final thoughts on in the tag division or this tag team match?
This is too much like early 2000s WWE. It really is. To where like the tag division is just whatever. Let's just do whatever we feel like and just cruise control through it.
So, does it feel to you like the Usos and New Day type situation WWE had a few years ago, where they just kept facing off so many times, it just became like, yeah, these are the only two teams that matter? Is that how it feels to you right now?
Uh, I don't know. No, it feels kind of worse because at least then we had the Usos and New Day both hot as can be. Right now, we don't even have like our champions hot right now. Like they're in a story with Kenny pretty much, and that's one guy. And also, there's no second. Like if you say FTR or the Acclaim, they are not as hot as the Bucks, and the Bucks aren't even hot themselves right now. It's just a situation to where like not just like okay, we have the Usos and New Day. We're guaranteed at least a good match anyway. We're just having a tag match because we need a tag match. There's no demand for it.
Agreed. I mean, I don't really hear a lot of fans are just turned off by the Young Bucks at this point. Whether that's their backstage antics or just them just being annoying or holding the titles too much, whatever the case, it just seems like they're burnt. We'll see. I mean, let us know in the comments what you guys think of this AEW tag division, because I'm actually curious a lot of the opinions on it, because it's been a mess for a while. So let's get into the two big matches, and the two matches I'm looking forward to the most. So we have MJF and Will Ospreay for the American/international title. I will say Ospreay's been really impressing me on the mic. He had a very good promo last night on last week or this week's Dynamite Go Home show. Him and MJF had a hell of a promo. The crowd was electric. The storyline makes sense. You got the Ospreay, all ends in London. He's from the UK. Got that home crowd reception. He's a babyface. MJF's like, yeah, I'm the American heel. Screw you and all these UK people. America's the best country and all that. So, Tears, who do you have winning between MJF and Ospreay for the American/international title? And do you think they will have a better match than their 60-minute match, or close to 60-minute match they had on a few weeks ago?
Uh, I think that there's a chance. I would like to think that like they planned. I say that even though we were just kind of bashing AEW a little bit, but I'd like to think that they planned for there to be multiple matches here. So I'm saying it has a good chance to be better than the first match. I feel like it's going to be a dusty finish to where MJF keeps the title through nefarious means. And they'll have a third match, and that'll be the one Ospreay wins the title. I could be wrong. Ospreay could win it here, and we have a rubber band match, or bleh, pretty much a final round, like who wins, like the full three matches situation. Um, hmm. I think I'm going to stick with my gun and say MJF wins and Ospreay wins the final of the three matches. If they do three matches.
It's a good prediction. Could really go either way in this. I'm going to go Ospreay, because MJF, if he retains, I don't really see how they set up a rematch unless there's like interference or a dirty finish or something. So I'm going to go Ospreay. Yeah. So I'm going to go Ospreay. Maybe Ricochet shows up in this. Maybe Ospreay. I don't know. I've been hearing Ricochet could be an all-in. I don't know what other match he would show unless he just shows up like some of the other AEW signings do, where Tony Schiavone's like in the new signing for AEW and all that stuff. But yeah, we'll have to see. it's going to be tough for them to top their 60-minute or close to 60-minute match. I don't really expect them to. These guys have nothing to really prove to me. I mean, they had an excellent match before. They're going to have an excellent match again. The crowd's going to be into it. MJF, I don't know how fans criticize his in-ring work. I hear fans say MJF can't wrestle and all that. You guys are nuts. I don't know how you can say that. But this is I said it before in one of our previous videos. This is the biggest match they couldn't have set up, and they did it, and it lived up. So hopefully this lives up to it as well. And I think they're gonna have a third match. I forget what the other pay-per-view is, so we'll have to see. But hell of a promos these two have been cutting, and hopefully the match is just an excellent match. So let's get on with this main event. Career versus title match, the match everybody's looking forward to. I know I am. I've really been enjoying the build-up for this match. Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland. If Bryan Danielson loses, his in-ring career is over. So, Tears, who do you have winning between Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Title?
What did I say last? I think I said, God. I think career versus championship. I can't remember what I said last time I was asked. I think I'm gonna have this. Could this be? Unfortunately, I have so many things going through my head right now. It's like, what would Tony Khan do? Tony Khan seems to be like doing this like panic stuff, like with his booking as well, from what I'm noticing. So I feel like either he's going to put the title on Bryan to try to get him to stick around and not ruin, like, end his career, because Tony Khan is probably going to be thinking more of a fan than a booker. But would you really do that to Swerve? Swerve could really get agitated about that.
So I will give you something I have heard. AEW eventually wants to have Darby Allin be the world champion. So could they have Bryan win, have him be champion for a month, and have Darby win it? Would that be something you would not mind seeing if they did that?
You know, with you saying that, that makes me think like I kind of do want to see Darby Allin versus Daniel Bryan, because if you look at it from a good story, if you were to do a good story, Darby Allin represents everything that's Bryan Danielson isn't. Like, they both represent two different types of wrestling, and I can see that being part of the story, to where like Darby Allin isn't a wrestler in Bryan's eyes, and that could lead to a good storyline. And now that I say it even more, I want it more, so I might have to say Bryan wins, so that way we could probably get to that. I could be wrong. I could be fantasy booking myself in this situation. God. I think I'm gonna have to go Bryan, because. But what would Swerve do? What would Swerve do? Would this be it for Swerve?
So not to cut you off again, but I have heard that at the next show they want to do Hangman against Swerve. So maybe that don't need title involved, maybe.
That might have helped. I might now be more confident saying Bryan, because Hangman versus Swerve actually doesn't need the title for their feud. So I could be okay with saying Bryan more confidently now. Because no matter what, Bryan or Hangman versus Swerve, it's a feud that doesn't need the belts.
Yeah, I mean they don't, and maybe that's why they are okay having Swerve lose, because they're like, okay, you can swerve, you could face Hangman Adam Page, and then maybe Bryan faces Darby. Darby wins the title, holds it for a while, and then maybe get Swerve and Darby. Could be a possibility. I like the sound of it. So for me, I've heard Bryan. I don't know if Bryan's saying this stuff to kind of just try to lead people off of something, or I don't know. He's been talking about like he has to have neck surgery. And I don't know if he's going to have that at the end of the year. Not sure if he's going to have that in a month. So that's like a kind of a wild card in this for me. Like, how bad is Bryan's injuries? I've heard he's had a lot of injuries and his neck's bothering him. And I think he really hasn't wrestled since his last match against Ospreay because his injuries have really been piling up. And the doctors have told him, like, you can't wrestle as much as you used to. So I don't know if that's going to play a factor in this match, if Brian's really going to hang it up or not. But I'm going to go Brian. I think it'd be a fun little last run for him before he has to have the neck surgery. I think, like Tears said, him and Darby would be a fun little feud, and Hangman and Swerve could feud and see where that leads. So we'll have to see. But Tears, any final thoughts on this match and on this pay-per-view in general? Anything you looking forward to the most or anything like that?
I think my fantasy booking for the like Osprey versus Darby is probably going to be better than what we actually get.
Yeah, because you never know with Tony Khan. He's a wild card with the booking. I mean, I do wonder where Ricochet's going to play into this. I mean, is he going to go for a title? Is he going to be feuding with Osprey? Is he going to be feuding with like a lot of undercard talent? I think that's going to play a role. I don't know. We'll have to see. I hope everybody's looking forward to All In. I hope it's a good show. Hope you guys enjoyed our predictions. Peace.